it was non-existent, right? Just running in, giving free frags to the like of Brolan and Smooya. I don't want to do that. And now it's a map that Fnatic are supremely comfortable on. And even though they're going to be starting on the T side, they are a team who are very comfortable on it. And here we go. I like the aggression from Team Spirit. Trying to mix things up here, Vince. 4 players pushing down mid.
It has worked out pretty well for them. 2-4 trade as well. Just Alex takes one in return. And with Crims up on the second mid area, maybe Spirit get a little bit too antsy and get aggressive. Brolan in the underpass, waiting to dive in through the tunnels. Crims takes off the head of Magix. And now Brolan's in prime position to deal with these pesky CTs. But Chiron puts together 2 headshots. And Crims, who's picked up 3, now needs to go one step further. If Fnatic will clutch out this round. And the veteran has been bested by some Die Young. The aggression works out for Spirit, but only just.
Well, shout out to Chiron. He bottom fragged in that first map. He is the player slotting in for Mir. And, you know, a rough debut on map number 1, but a huge 3K. And despite the fact Crims was almost able to bring it back, getting 3 kills of his own, Chiron able to clutch it out in the end against a veteran, against a major winner on the side of Fnatic. So, yeah, kudos to him to make that work, and also a good start for him. And hopefully he's able to try and kind of capitalize on that and kind of, you know, build up a little bit of momentum as Brolan. He's aware of the position of at least one of these players. I'm not sure if he knows where Patsy is, though. He's going to drop one down. Timing was great for him because he does avoid the flashbang, but Smooya finds Patsy through the smoke. I don't even know how he finds it, Vince. And now Chiron trying to go for the trade, getting on top of the boxes. That's such, on the battle trap, that's such a huge mistake. And now some Die Young with the MP9 gets his face punched in by Alex. And there you have it, Vince. Like, the inexperience on this team with 2 new players coming in, right? You had Patsy and had Chiron, the 2 new members jumping into this team. And sure, Patsy, unfortunate to get completely smacked down by Smooya's Deagle. But then Chiron jumping on top of the barrels, right? No flashbang to help him out. Instead, he gets blinded. Some Die Young wasn't there with him to trade immediately as well. So 3 separate 1v1s being given. And even if you take away the fact that Patsy it was just unfortunate the way he died, the rest of them, that defense just fell flat. And this was against a force buy. This was with 3 players on that B bomb side, or rather at Banana. So a huge, just a rough hold overall for Team Spirit.
Yeah, and almost a carbon copy of what happened on Mirage as well. They win the CT pistol, they then succumb straight away. And you saw the effects it had on their CT side. They never fully stabilized. Dexter will be saving no weapons going through into round 3 as his head is removed by Crims on his Deagle. Magix holds on to the FAMAS. But that's it. They're going to have to force her in double eco territory. And especially alongside that FAMAS, they may not have better opportunities. And that's the frag you were talking about. Just straight through the smoke. And then a flash from Mezzy, perfectly placed. But you see how individualistic those B-holes were. One by one, they were found, fragged, and dealt with. And these are the lack of cohesion maybe you can expect from a roster that hasn't been together for too long as 5. But they really need to step it up here, Blair, because honestly, if this continues, if we keep seeing mistakes of that magnitude, Fnatic are going to have a very comfortable T side.
And this is the T side from Fnatic even before the Brits joined the team, right? They used to look pretty good when they had a little bit of a streak going on right before Jaquinho joined as well. The T side Inferno was something I used to enjoy watching. Brolan especially, he used to have a field day on it. And now with the upgrade into firepower from their map pick, looking the way they've looked recently, especially against a rough-looking Team Spirit, they should have a very easy time here. Smooya doesn't even have a gun, Vince. Just got a crosshair.
That's all he needs, apparently. He's a bit of a magician, is our Smooya. Can make all of Spirit disappear at a moment's notice. And right now, Magic's off the table. Dexter not far from joining him on 26. And Chiron had the right idea, but he's been smoked off. And that kind of position as well, where you couldn't really fault Spirit if they decide to pull a plug and save. It does give them another chance into the next round. Chiron can sit up close and maybe try and dispatch of a couple players on exit frags, maybe even steal away one of those weapons. In terms of Ninja Defuse, that's not going to be a possibility with no kit, although he does have the smoke. But this round has already been dialed in. It's done. It's a foregone conclusion. It's just really now, can Spirit maybe take a weapon away from Fnatic? Can Fnatic deal with Chiron? Because I think the 3 players over on bit A will be fine to save onto these weapons. Fnatic, though, solid round, solid read.
Yeah, I mean, in a scenario like this, you save your weapons. Even if I'm Chiron, I just like fall back. I use the smoke to my advantage and sneak towards CD spawn. Exactly what he's going to do. He's going to avoid Brolan, who was on a bit of a hunt with an MP9, but that ensures that Fnatic, they can't take round number 4 that casually, right? If they manage to win this by eliminating all the pistols, which is purchased here by Spirit, they only have to contend with the USPs. So now they're aware, it's still a force fight, still have to contend with the Deagles and the 5.7s and a P250 in the hands of Patsy. So they're going to be approaching this one methodically as well. Imagine a world, Vince, the next major, wherever it's going to happen. You have Fnatic qualifying, and then you have British UK Counter-Strike just bringing, glory back to the name of Fnatic. Just a weird timeline that'd be.
Yeah, the Swedish UK alliance. Yeah, it definitely would be a bit of an odd one, wasn't it? And it took a lot of people off guard, myself included.
It might even I don't know, bring us back from Brexit. You never know. Anyway, they made quick work of the force buy, and even though we had Spirit posturing towards apartments area, trying to take advantage of the close range duels, Fnatic, they are very methodical. They do lose Mezzi, but I assume they will be able to ensure that that gun of his will not be retrieved by the members of Spirit. As I say that, a nice shot from Dexter. And it's a 2 versus 3. Suddenly, this is looking... It's still not that easy, but it is doable here. If Samdayan can find Brolan, it's a 2 versus 2.
It's went from being just an ordinary sort of run-of-the-mill T-sided round to suddenly a bit interesting. Sure, there's a couple more question marks now, and curiosity begins to peak. Samdayan with a headshot angle waiting, likely will be smoked off, but he's just waiting to see if maybe one of these teams gets a little bit too. And yes, they have both gone over to the B side. This is where the Deagle and 5.7 can prevail. It can shine, especially if Samdayan plays a few sound cues here, rattles off a couple shots and baits them in towards Dexter. Good flash though, so well placed. And although they run into the stack, it should be curtains for Spirit. Yes, they take a couple players down with them, but Fnatic off to the 3-1, and players are brimming to peak with their economy. Fnatic are good to buy for 2 or 3 rounds to come yet.
It did look like it was a rough round for Fnatic, right? Considering they did lose a few guns there. But yeah, as you pointed out, Vince, the fact that the majority of the rounds have won, they've had a lot of players stay alive. And bear in mind, round number 2 was one of the force buy in which they retrieved the weapons, quite a few of the weapons from Team Spirit. So yeah, they do lose a few players, but that's okay. A lot of money in the coffers. Oh, Patsy. Oh, he could be done for here. The nade might just find him. He survives on 8 HP. But for how long is the question, as the Molotovs are going to be tossed on in? They have evacuated the premises, but early banana control being arrested here by Fnatic. They are wary of the fact that with the smoke still in place, a couple of members of Spirit could still be lurking around the corner, and indeed they are. And they should be aware of the fact that they are going to try and retake the top banana control. We have the flashbang in the hands of Patsy, primed and ready, but it looks like Team Spirit are having second thoughts about it and slowly going to be peeling away and playing a much more passive position. But the push comes in with Fnatic, a fast play here, and this could potentially catch Spirit off guard. Vince Brolan finds Patsy, and despite the fact that Spirit, well, they had 3 members lying in wait. It doesn't really matter. The bomb side will be wrested away by Fnatic. The timing from Fnatic to go for that push with so much time remaining, that just led to the capitulation. Or is that the right word? I don't even know. But yeah, the defense just fell apart for Spirit.
Yeah, I think honestly it was kind of set up from all of that early banana aggression. They used so many grenade spirits, multiple smokes, nades, flashes. They only had 2 smokes left, and one of which was over on the B side of the map. So I think Fnatic had a good read of the situation that, one, the over-rotation could go back towards A from B. This is something a lot of teams do, and they just leave the one player on B by themselves to bolster up the A defense. But additionally, if you just basically get out the plow, the bulldozer, and just steamroll over the site, the chances are, even if 2 players are there, you will trade out successfully, and you will just straight up brute force your way onto the site. It was such a solid call from Fnatic, but my God, was the execution good as well. Like, Spirit never stood a chance and forced into yet another save. Tactical timeout deployed already as we move through into the 6th round, but an understandable one, Blair. They won the pistol. Since then, it's been one-way traffic, and it's been the Swedes and it's been the UK-based squad that is just cruising down the highway.
Hey, yeah, but Outcast was number 1 when Karen was born.
Bruh.
God, dude, I was in high school. I think I was almost about to enter college.
Why you got to do us like this, Elliot?
God damn it, Elliot. It's not like he's super young either. I don't know why he's like bringing up these boomer facts. Like, screw you, Elliot. Anyway, 4-1 the scoreline. You can see us looking good, brimming with confidence as well, along with a couple of sweets too. But as you pointed out, Vince, yeah, Spirit, I kind of wish they committed to that retake off top of Banana, but as you pointed out, fnatic aren't going to be playing by the book. They're not going to be going in, all right, 30 seconds left on the clock, but it's going to be going in for the hit right now. They're going to keep poking and prodding, especially when you have players like Smooya on your side. You are going to have that little bit of an unpredictability factor with you, right? So early damage, however, being inflicted by Spirit this time around. They have the utility with them. Obviously, loss bonus kicking in, enabling them to buy that extra utility around the guns they have saved. And Alex already down to 41 HP, and Mezzi on the nice 69 HP.
To try and barrel their way through middle, it would seem. Some Die Young alongside Magix are sat here in wait. No smokes on Magix. Could be a problem. Incendiary will be tossed in. And again, they're mixing up the pace. fnatic not hanging about. Magix still holding into Apps is a very important position, but his teammate, his partner on the site has been evacuated. And fnatic, they are taking no prisoners. Man, they are so aggressive. And I'm loving watching their T side so far.
And it's just the way they're finding this rhythm in chaos, if I can say so myself, right? And then, yeah, Patsy just... I'm not sure why he was, like, pushing around when he had no information there. Instead, they could play back-to-back with Dexter. Obviously, a weapon which you want to ensure is going to be carried into the next round. But in a 1 versus 4, it's a lot of time remaining on that bomb timer, Vince. They are going to be going in for the hunt. But Dexter's repositioning here could potentially offer him an opportunity to hold on his AWP. They probably think he's going to be towards Banana, and they might not check his position. Dexter, though, takes it for a shot, but now the jig is up. They know exactly where he is. He needs to survive for the next few more seconds, but the hunt is on. Mezzi right behind him. But it looks like Dexter will survive. Fortunate for him, Mezzi not aware of the fact they're still sticking around. An eye shot from Dexter, and he will indeed keep the AWP alive. And of course, a buy will still be possible for Team Spirit. But at this point in time, Vince, it's not about how many buys you can eke out. You need to win a few rounds here because fnatic are running away with it. And as you said, they've only been seeing a lot of action towards the B bomb side. And then when they hit A, just losing one man in the process. And bear in mind, this was an Alex who was already very low on health. Team Spirit had all the advantage, and fnatic just burst onto the bomb side and completely just dismantled the defense, brick by brick. So a rough start, but this is a much better one coming in from Team Spirit. They find some Die Young, and that's a danger man taken out of the equation in the form of Mezzi, and Alex will fall as well.
Excellent work. This is really a byproduct of being able to save those 2 ops. Or the 1 op, I should say, and buying the second. And Patsy just nails Brolan, walks around the corner. This is maybe where some of that aggression needs to be tempered a little bit. Dexter misses a shot that he'll be disappointed didn't go his way. A player of his caliber should be hitting those. And it does just allow the door to come slightly ajar into this round, Blair. It may not be over just yet. And keep in mind, even significant economic damage at this point will still be somewhat of a win if you are over on fnatic. So Spirit need to not just win this round, they need to do it convincingly. They need to do it efficiently. And the frag onto Crims is huge. Smooya now back to the wall, against the world in a 1-on-4, and he's going to be caught from the side. Excellent hold from Spirit at the end. They made those 2 ops work, and finally Patsy gets on the scoreboard as well. So that's going to be great confidence towards him. Spirit have something to be excited about, finally.
I am a little surprised as to what Brolan was thinking, just crouch walking around the corner there. But yeah, a few curious decisions being made by fnatic, but they will be punished for it. And a huge round for Spirit to win, not just winning the round, Vince, but also able to keep 4 members alive, even upgrade a couple of their guns into the AK-47s for that 1-tap potential, and of course a double AWP setup for Dexter and Patsy. Dexter getting harassed. Look at the amount of utility being tossed in, and somehow it only tickles Dexter down to 97 points of health. So they're very fortunate there was no one playing towards a standby position, but Dexter, he's been bullied out of the top of Banana, and Brolan still sticking around. And fnatic, at least the way the posturing here, looks like they are going to be going in for this B hit. Brolan catches Chiron. Dexter, he's trying desperately to get a trade, but Brolan surviving on a singular point of health, and they will now peel away back towards the A bomb site, where Patsy lies in wait with his AWP.
Will have to have a lot of impact like the previous round, missing out on the first shot. Incendiary down to stop any further hemorrhaging over on quad, but it's going to be fnatic that are now pressuring and pivoting through on the Archer's side, and they're not respecting those smokes. They still press forward. Patsy stuck on the site, has been stuck by Crims's AK, and just like that, Spirit off to yet another save. Fnatic, I am loving watching these T sides. Yes, sometimes they maybe overextend, they make a couple of mistakes, a couple of missteps, but I love this aggressive stance, man. Pushing through smokes, flashing over, isolating weakened players, and dealing with them accordingly.
There's nothing wrong in pushing through smokes if you have a plan in mind, if you have the right utility usage, if you're going to be going in together. And listen, I don't even know how Crims got the first kill onto the player in pit. It's like he single-handedly dismantled the defense. And a sudden switch up in pacing from Fnatic, it seems to be catching Spirit off guard time and time again. And yeah, sure, a couple of rounds, apart from the pistol round and the second round they lost, where it was strange how Brolan was just walking in towards the crosshair of Dexter's, and a couple of questionable decisions being made by Fnatic. But apart from that, the rounds they've been winning have been clinical. And these are against full buys, mind you. And for Spirit, it's like they're not able to really get much map control. They're getting harassed towards. I really haven't seen them go for a solid like setup towards mid, towards the brackets area. But at the same time, they need to be wary. They need to be paranoid about the fact that it could be a member of Fnatic just waiting towards apartment, just sneaking on out, catching them off guard. And that's what Fnatic are doing here. They're making them feel paranoid, uncomfortable, and just reacting to what Fnatic are throwing their direction. Early three-man hold towards the top of Banana once more from Team Spirit, but Fnatic this time opting not to battle Banana. Instead, they're going to be lobbing a lot of utility early on towards top of mid. You can see the smoke towards Archway, and that's going to force out a rotation from the third man from the B bomb site, and that is going to be Some Da Young joining the defense towards the A bomb site.
Early incendiary down does allow them to rotate a next player if they should choose, which could very well be Patsy on low HP. But we've already seen that Fnatic have no problem playing aggressive, and that will put something in the back of Spirit's mind. They're never comfortable knowing what Fnatic have up their sleeve next. They're not playing passive every single round. They have to utilize some smokes and flashes to buy up some time. Good shot from Dexter alleviates a bit of the pressure that was mounting, and Smooya's timing very unfortunate. He may get fragged as a result of this. Flash through, and there is the peek behind it. We were talking about how so much of Spirit have been reactive. Now we're seeing them be more proactive, and well, the results speak for themselves.
Look at a push from Charon. I thought it was going to be pushing on Banana, but as long as it stays alive towards the barrels, that's all the information they need. They can keep 3 players towards this A side, and Dexter is just taking them down like 10 pins. One by one, they fall. Alex left alive, but while it's focused on towards Dexter, Patsy's going to find himself his 3rd kill off the half, and that is going to be 6-3. A good haul overall from Team Spirit, and this is... I like this re-aggression coming out from them, right? They really have been struggling regaining map control, which initially is wrested away by Fnatic's utility usage. So the fact that they go in a little dry, but they all go in as a full unit. They're like 3 players pushing in together and able to take them down. And once more, it's the Star of Spirit waking up. Dexter with a massive 3K with the AWP. And oh no, Smooya, I take his name, and Smooya shuts them down. A collateral double kill. And that's to open up the A bomb side. Some Da Young is going to be pressured, Vince. He tosses in a little bit of utility to try and keep them at bay, but Fnatic, they are unrelenting.
It's just unbelievable. Spirit finally get a bit of leeway, and it's snatched away from them. Some Da Young stuck at the back of the site. Spray is good. Nearly picked up 2. That transfer was beautiful, but it's not going to be good enough because Alex is on a tear again. 2 frags to his name. Patsy misses out on his spray, and there's yet another one. A full house of frags. Alex picks up the triple, and Smooya, of course, the AWP Charmer, pushing down 2 players. The second collat he's hit, by the way, with frags, and I'm pretty sure he tagged a couple of players on Mirage as well, but didn't get both. He is unbelievable for these, but you also have to throw a bit of a question mark to Spirit. Why would you peek simultaneously 2 players down middle, knowing there's a possibility an AWP would be down there? You are kind of playing into your own demise at that stage.
Also, I guess they weren't expecting Smooya to have such a good a spawn. You don't really, at this level of CS, see an AW player just going for the dry peak, right? Like, there was no flashbangs, nothing. But that's Smooya. Like, he has this propensity to go for certain plays, which, as someone who enjoys, the textbook style of Counter-Strike, the complete antithesis of Asian CS, if I might even say, he does somehow remind me of some of the more wild players, some of the more exciting AWP players. But the thing is, he has this somehow. I think you nailed it when he said, it's a magical ability to somehow win from the situations. Get a collateral kill like that, or just escape unscathed despite going for multiple repeats. So, what am I to say, Vince? Like, maybe Smooya is just operating at a much higher level than you and I can even comprehend. I mean, they haven't lost a single series since he joined the team, so he's doing something right.
Oh,
and look at this call. Look at this call, though, Vince. Just one defender.
Oh no. Yeah, Chiron, I think we might need to get a coffin out for you there, Chief, because you're not long for this world, and it's Brolan that takes him down. A good headshot, though, honestly, from Chiron, using Patsy's flashbang to finish off the rest. But we've been in this territory multiple times over, and Team Spirit have not had a very good retake percentage in their favor. Patsy darting and dancing between the flames and deals with Brolan as he sprays them out of the round. Maybe this is going to be a victory after all, but Smooya, 2 no-scopes in a row, point-blank range. That's ridiculous and messy. Both of the UK contingent come out massive when it really counts. Spirit should have had that round, but fnatic get their 8th.
The Rat King strikes again. The no-scope. It's ridiculous. 2 no-scopes back-to-back, and Vince, I feel like Smooya has embraced a classic Fnatic bullshit. If you remember Fnatic of old, you're talking about JW, you're talking about all of Meister, Crims, and all these madmen and the shenanigans they used to get up to in the server. I feel like Smooya just might have found his home. Just ridiculous shots coming out from the man. A collateral, 2 no-scopes in what was, I believe, a 2v4 situation. And you just said it. They were struggling with the retakes, but Spirit played that one very well, bringing it back to their advantage. But the UK boys, they strike. And 8-3 the scoreline. They have broken the money of Team Spirit. So down to just the 5-7s and the bit of an ugly spray, but he makes up for it. He gets the kill in the end, and a Max 7 in the hands of some Die Young, who will find one. And this Max 7, if it gets hunted down close range, he could potentially be a threat, but he opts to take a fight with the USP against the AK-47 Vince, and usually it goes the way of the AK-47.
Oh yeah. More often than not, decent headshot to Alex, all things considered, but doesn't really mean that much because Patsy still gets sent packing. And there's a stat that I was looking at because I was thinking back to that first map, Blair. In this entire series, Spirit have only hit 2 rounds in a row twice. In the first map on Mirage, they got the 4th and 5th round. It's when they broke the economy quickly of Fnatic and then subsequently went in. And they only put 2 rounds together again early on here. Obviously, they won the pistol and they won those 2 back-to-back. The lack of consistency has been a huge detriment and downfall on both sides of the equation, not just on the CT side, but the T side as well. If you are never building up your economy and you are never knocking down the economy of the other team, you are always going to struggle, especially when we know that Fnatic like to use multiple AWPs. And that has been a reoccurring theme for Spirit that they have dealt with time after time, and we're seeing it again here on Inferno. Just when you think they're about to get consistency, something happens, a misplay or a huge play from Fnatic, and it breaks them again.
Well, Brolan's been breaking a lot of heads as well. 19 headshots in map 1, which is equaling Patsy's kill total. All right, Ellie, you don't have to be that mean. Just to add on to what he said, though, Vince, like, you look at Group B, you got Team Spirit, you got Team Forza, the 2 CIS teams coming in, right? And this is a time where the CIS region has just been, it looks like almost the king of esports, right? You look at almost every other game out there. We saw Spirit win the TI very recently as well. But I feel like Forza and Spirit, considering the new changes they've just had right now, are going to be clearly the underdogs in this rebuilding phase they have just started very recently. But I am curious, assuming Fnatic closes out 2-0, and we're all assuming they are, considering the scoreline right now, 9-3 on the T side. I want to see how they go up against ENCE, because ENCE as a team have looked fantastic. Sure, they weren't able to quite make it to the stage, but they're a team who has really surprised me. This motley crew of different nationalities, working together, not a single member from their old Finnish lineup remaining, and somehow they have really been an exciting team for me to watch. To see them go up against this Fnatic squad is definitely, that does make me salivate at, my mouth. Not like I can salivate any other thing, just saying it.
Crims is going to be finding that frag delicious, that's for sure, as they decide to push through on the speedway. Patsy caught in 2 mines, but he also knows that the banana is a threat, especially as there's some pre-fire coming down from, I believe that's Mezzi, who's just put a lot of damage through that smoke, but it's Crims Oh no, he's catching them from behind. It's gone from bad to worse. Now the roles have reversed as well, but it puts Mezzy in a dire situation. All three of Fnatic are low. 2 players coming up on the banana side, and Mezzy in prime position to thwart this one away. There's one frag in a second as well.
Oh.
And not for the first time, his AK sings a beautiful lullaby of death towards Spirit. Patsy has to do whatever he can to salvage this situation. And honestly, he may think about saving. I feel like at this stage, Blair, it's maybe
you gotta go for
start saving. Yeah, you've got to start winning rounds, man.
It's a 1 versus 2. This is winnable. Obviously, I think a bit of the damage is still unconfirmed damage. He does know that Mezzy is kind of low, though, and he's going for it. And I'm okay with this. Like, at one point, you just have to go for these scenarios, even though it's not going to be favoring you. He's got a kit. He's got an incendiary. So if he's able, and it's a default plan, if you can kind of like Molotov off apartments, could work out. That this is huge, Vince. He could win this. Patience is everything for Patsy. He's going to creep on up, looking for the second player. Unfortunately, he's got to find Alex, and Mezzy is going to get the trade. If Alex hadn't turned around there, Vince, that could have easily been a 1v2 clutch coming in for him.
And that's great to see from Patsy, by the way, because a lot of players, especially younger players, inexperienced players perhaps, would have snatched at that opportunity. They would have took the frag. The fact that he did play the time and he was thinking about the bigger picture is very good news for me personally. Yes, it didn't work, but as you said, how unfortunate that Alex decides at that particular moment to spin around and check behind him. So unfortunate, but all things considered, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, it's still 10-3. Here comes a barrage of grenades down middle, but it could prove to be yet another round that goes the way of Fnatic as they line up for Smuya, and he puts them down where they stand. 11 rounds already on the T side, Blair. My goodness, this has been an absolute devastation of a CT side for Spirit.
I can see probably, as I pointed out earlier, the 14 UKCS fans probably might have found a couple of new members, Vince. Might be 17 now. I'm definitely one of them. They're looking good. They're looking really good. Look, I don't want to harp too much on the weaknesses of Spirit here. Obviously, it's a map they're not super comfortable on. Brand new lineup. Again, it's a debut game with a brand new IGL coming in from the Spirit Youngster side. You have Karon coming into fill the shoes rather of Mir. So obviously, they were not going to be the favorites coming to this matchup, right? So I don't want to really harp on the fact that they're struggling here too much. But the fact that Fnatic just look clinical, they're not sweating, they're just doing their job and making things look just so clean is what's impressing me quite a lot. The spacing has been good in general. Alex, it's all about timing. He knows his player just jumped on down. Young is going to be walking to his crosshair, but Alex decides he's not going to be going in for that particular trade, and there's no need to as well. Roland, however, making a lot of noise towards Banana, and it's just a ruse, Vince. It's just a fake out to try and bait one of the CTs to go investigating where Smuya was lying in wait. But because of Patsy's position, he's not able to hear the footsteps. So instead, they're going to be going in for the hit towards the B-bomb side, waiting for the smokes to be deployed. He is going to be smoked off for Patsy. Does he push in through the smoke, or is it play retake? That's the question. Now, Flashman coming in as a reply from his teammate. Unfortunately, 3 targets to find, and in fact, he will find none. Broland will take him down, 2v3, favoring Fnatic.
Young stuck on the wrong side of the smoke. Another one has now just been put down. Maybe waiting for a flash from his teammate of Magic's here to push through. He's making noise. Incendiary to the back. Preordained, but the Incendiary wasn't quite in the right position to afford the luxury of Young piercing through the smoke and puncturing the player. So much time has already elapsed, and to make it worse now for Spirit, they've lost their last 2 heads. It's 12-3 going into the second half. Stay tuned to see if Fnatic get it done in 2. A bloodbath of a first half, favoring Fnatic significantly so. See Spirit with a measly 3 rounds and already with their backs up against the ropes. And Blair, from what we saw in that first half, I don't necessarily think that there's a lot of optimism here, but the first point of call has to be this pistol.
You pointed out as well in the first half, Vince, they haven't been able to string 2 rounds together thus far in this best of 3. So if you can start with that, that'd be great. But Smooya, is he going to be checked? He's not, but he will strike. Finds just to 1. Good trades coming in for Spirit, though, but they still have to contend with Mezzi, who will be taken down. Great stuff from Magix there. Not taking any damage whatsoever. So a 2v3 post-plant favoring Spirit here. Again, now, for Alex, he's got a smoke. I don't see any kit lying around as well. So this retake has to be real quick.
Oh, it has to be rapid. Crims has put the bullet in the dome of Magix so quickly. Speed picking up, pace is delivering. Alex though comes out second best against Dexter, and Spirit have just secured their 3rd out of 4 pistol rounds in this best of 3, which goes to show how dominant Fnatic have been. Spirit have got both pistols and they still trail 12-4.
Now, if they can get the second round together, Vince, it'll be the first time thus far in this best of 3 they've managed to get 2 in a row. And I do hope they manage to do so, to at least make things a little competitive. Map number 1, Mirage, their map pick didn't quite go their way. And now Fnatic on the more, well, favorable side of this particular map of Inferno, considering the massive, this gargantuan lead they have. They're going to be feeling mighty comfortable. Great nades, though. Boom, boom. Patsy down to 11. Now Alex slowly peeling away from the position. Crim's going to be still sticking around, though, and that's a great opening from Magix. Finding Crims, continuing his bit of a tear he's been on since the previous round. Is looking for more. 9 kills for him as he comes charging on in. Alex playing the anti-flash. Smooya finds 1, though. Picks up an AK-47. Is looking for more. Alex strikes from behind, and it's all gone wrong, Vince. Messi with the deagle strikes as well, and Patsy and 11 HP left in a 1 versus 4. And once again, Spirit, they get around, but they lose the next. It's all gone wrong. Again.
Oh, it's just so grim, man. How many times is Spirit gonna let this happen? It's the 3rd time.
I don't get it. Like, I mean, there are multiple ways. They had utility, right? I'm sure they had utility to isolate one of these players. Then no one checks. No one checks Motobox. And Alex, 3 kills for him. Mezzi with the deagle, and just deep breaths, Vince. They're learning, you know, it's a brand new team. They don't have Chopper, they don't have Mare. First game ever against a team who are on a bit of a streak as well. I think 4-game streak or something. So kind of expected, but it does look grim. It does look very grim.
Exactly, and I'm willing to give Spirit a lot of leeway, but at some point as well, you have to take the advantages that you're given. If you win the pistol, you've got to get bare minimum of the 2nd round. It's not good enough to keep falling this many times. And yes, Fnatic have played really well. Take nothing away from Fnatic at all. But I think it's safe to say, if we're being like completely frank about this, Spirit have been very lackluster today. Even with the caveats of them having 2 new players in, there's still a 3-core player setup here. And Patsy's been involved in the academy team for quite a while at this stage. So I'm willing to give them like a little bit of leeway, but at the same time, this really has been a fairly grim performance, all things considered.
And tomorrow, when they will, in all probability, going to be facing off against Forza, I really don't fancy the chances there either, right? Forza, even though they're pretty much almost a brand new team as well. You know, Jerry's still in that team, though. One of my favorite IGLs in the game. They're also in a bit of a rebuilding phase, but I didn't get a chance to watch that game, but I don't think the scoreline was this grim. And for Spirit, even the rounds have won. Quite a few of them have come off Fnatic, you know, maybe letting their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, some individual plays coming out. But whenever Fnatic, their heads are in the round, they're like, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to execute. They have just been absolutely dismantled. And again, Some Die Young not aware of the possibility of Smooya holding that angle. These are the small little things that even... I mean, Some Die Young is not a new player. He would be aware of that. And look at Alex, though. Smoke tossed in, Molotov to keep them at bay. The re-peek coming in, and then follow-up nade as well. He's single-handedly flushed out the members of Team Spirit from the top of mid. And now they're left wondering. You can just look at the body language as well in the server. You're like, okay, what are we going to do right now? fnatic have absolute control. They have them in a stranglehold. They've got a banana control as well. Brolan holding the close angle, and it is going to be an absolute massacre in banana. Mezzi with a 3K, of which 2 of them came in through the smoke. And I'm kind of glad this is going to end fast, because this is just, it feels illegal to watch.
Yeah, they, you know, good guys, Fanatics showing some
lively
play with their food. Yeah,
yeah.
It's been a rough one. What we can say about Fnatic as well, yes, Spirit have been off the boil for sure, but Fnatic have been really solid. They had a couple of missteps and a couple of shaky moments on Mirage, but this Inferno has been a sight to behold. And when you look at the kill dispersal as well, by the way, 16 and 12, and everyone is within that 4 kill mark. Everyone pulling their weight. Everyone's had their big moments. We've had clutches. We've had big spray downs. We've had fantastic holds. Like, this Fnatic on Inferno has looked a real tear, a real nightmare scenario for any team to go up against them. I would say they still haven't been fully tested just yet, Blair, if I'm being completely honest. But what we can say is you can only beat what's against you. And so far, they've been doing that with style.
I am very much looking forward to them facing off against ENCE tomorrow. I think that is going to be a one hell of a game. It's going to be all the way to, you know, it's going to be a 3-mapper. We're going to see this particular lineup being truly tested by a team who just made it to the legend stage of the major, who looked fantastic on LAN. Again, a bunch of youngsters led by the veteran in the form of Snappy, a team that I personally picked to make it to the top 8. Unfortunately, didn't quite pan out for them. So I think that's going to be the real test for Spirit. Can they survive for one more round? It looks like the answer is no. Vince Crims, the veteran, the balls, Viking is going to put them down into the grave. A clinical 4K to finish things off. And Fnatic, it just looks like another day in the office.
Oh man, they made that look easy. And without any disrespect towards Spirit, they got comprehensively outplayed both maps.